Good morning. My name's Carey Harris. I'm the CEO of Literacy Pittsburgh, and I thank you for joining me for this brief update. If you're watching this, it's likely because you are a donor, a tutor, or a supporter of ours in some way, and I want to thank you for all you do to make lives better through learning. This morning, I'd like to cover three things with you in this brief update. One is a look back at the past year. The second thing is about our strategic plan. And the third thing is some exciting things we have planned in this coming year. Let's look back at the year behind us. The past year for us started on July 1, 2019, with the launch of our Ready and Relevant initiative. That was the result of our transition committee with me coming on as the new CEO. Ready and Relevant initiative had the goal of raising $1 million for some innovation investments and new programs and projects for Literacy Pittsburgh. I'm pleased to share with you, after a year, we exceeded that fundraising goal. We raised over $1.1 million, and we launched many exciting initiatives, which I'll share more about as throughout this brief update. We do what we do. We launched some new initiatives. We were raising money, and then the pandemic hit, and everything changed for all of us all over the globe. Literacy Pittsburgh was no different. We suddenly had to figure out how we were going to deliver adult basic skills virtually and not in person. So all of our teachers went home and figured out how to do it, our teachers and our tutors. And I really cannot be more proud of how everybody really leaned into the challenge and stepped up. And that includes our students. So teachers learned, they made some adjustments. They started building some lessons for students that they could just watch whenever was convenient for them on YouTube. Teachers were doing individual phone calls, texting. Tutors were doing Skype, Zoom, FaceTime, all to keep working with our students. We transitioned much of that. Some of it is still happening, but we ended up transitioning to all virtual classes so that all of our classes are now delivered synchronously at all different levels throughout the day, just like they would have been at the downtown center or various sites throughout the region in the past. Now it's just all happening virtually. So we're very excited about that. And many of our students have stayed engaged. We saw enrollment dip at the very beginning of the pandemic as everybody was making adjustments into their lifestyle and what they were going to be able to do. But we're really pleased to say a big chunk of our students stuck with us through all that, and many more are coming back now. And even more are enrolling because they are now out of work and need to upskill in order to stage their comeback. So the other thing that happened as a result of the pandemic, as you are likely aware, is there's been a financial fallout, and Literacy Pittsburgh has not been immune to that. While we've done pretty well, we did learn recently that our state contract was going to be cut by 38%, which for us translated into $751,000, $761,000 to be exact. That's a big hit to a budget of $4.7 million. So thankfully, we were able to have some adjustments there. We have a paycheck protection loan, which is really helping us get through this. We were able to raise some additional private dollars to support it, and we took a sharp pencil to our expenses and made some changes there as well. We're well positioned, but it does mean that the year ahead is going to, we're going to have to pay a lot of attention to our spending in the year ahead, and we're going to be relying more and more on the generosity of private investors and individuals. But that is to say that the year ahead is really an important one. It's an important one for Literacy Pittsburgh, for all of us, really, but it's an especially important one for our students, who I like to call the never give uppers, right? Those folks have been hit hard by this recession. We know that all recessions are particularly brutal on the low-wage worker. This one has been worse. The most recent data is that about 14.5% of jobs in the low-wage workforce have been lost in the recession. It was as high as 35% in March and April. Now it's 14% are lost. It's not clear how many of them will come back. And so it is really a time when we have these recessions, when we always see an uptick in adult education enrollment. And we know that this time will be no different, because this is now an opportunity for these workers to stage their comeback. How are they going to show up in the economy that recovers from COVID? And it's a moment for Literacy Pittsburgh to think about how we're going to show up for these students and for the region to help upskill the new workforce. So which brings me to our second topic, which is our strategic plan. Literacy Pittsburgh's board persisted with the strategic plan even in spite of the pandemic. I think because we wanted to show up in this moment with some intention, right? There's a lot of uncertainty around us, but a few things are not uncertain. Education creates opportunities and makes lives better. And that we wanted to be certain about how we are going to show up in this for students and for the community. So the organization went through a pretty robust process that included tutor input through surveys and focus groups, student input, staff input, and lots of work with our board. We approved a strategic plan in August, and it has basically 3 high-level priorities. The overall idea is that Literacy Pittsburgh intends to be an important part of the talent development system in this region. And our priorities are to be relevant, ready, and sustainable. The big idea is really that we are going to integrate our work in the workforce development system because we know that an education is good, an education and a job is better, an education and a career is best. And so we're designing programs so that we're designing our work in partnership with workforce development organizations and employers so that there is a seamless path for students to go from an education, to build an education and a career together at the same time. There's some new partnerships that we'll be developing, like I said, with employers and job training programs, but also with human service organizations that can help us and help students remove some barriers that would keep them from pursuing their education. Our strategic plan also urges us to be sustainable, and so we've built some business models to help us have a plan for how we're going to grow different lines of business. So we have a big emphasis on earned income and on individual giving. So if we can aggressively grow those parts of our budget, it makes us less reliant on our state contract, and which we now can see with the most recent budget cuts. It can have less of an impact on us, and we can weather these kind of changes a little easier going forward. So there's lots more about the strategic plan that I could share, but we're going to attach to this video, there is a copy of the summary, so you can read it at your leisure. But I hope you're as excited about it as I am. Just the opportunity to reduce some of the friction for our students between getting an education and building a career. We're committed to working in partnership with others to make that smooth and very attainable quickly for the adults that we work with. So that's the strategic plan. The third thing I wanted to share with you this morning is about some of the exciting things we have happening that are absolutely tied to that strategic plan and are launching this coming program year. The first one is our digital literacy program. We knew it was the frontier in adult education before the pandemic hit, and that, of course, only accelerated our work in digital literacy. So we have a focus on that this year, building the capacity of our teachers and our tutors to help students expand their digital literacy. And it also means that we are making equipment and access available to students. So thanks to a generous investment from the BNY Mellon Foundation, we can have a digital literacy fellow on staff as one of our teachers helping us build our program. And we are able to loan equipment to students and provide some modest underwriting of broadband access. So we're very excited about that, and we hope that that will help more students enroll and stick with us throughout this pandemic year. But even beyond the pandemic, we know the ability to give students equipment to use will only accelerate their learning while they're with us. Another new initiative that we're launching in the year ahead is our Career Accelerator program, which is a partnership with Jewish Family and Community Services and Literacy Pittsburgh. And it is doing a big part of what I described in our strategic plan. So we have a cohort of students, we call them fast trackers, that are well positioned to attain their GED in 12 weeks. We are going to have them work together in a cohort, and while they're studying with us, they will get career counseling support, sort of like a guidance counselor from Jewish Family and Community Services, and they will also have a critical needs navigator. So it's somebody that can help them sort of childcare, housing, food assistance, help them set up that broadband access, all those different pieces so that they can really buckle down with us for 12 weeks and get that GED. And then they're in a much better position when they're ended, once they've attained the GED, and JFNCS has really helped them make a plan for the job that they're going to go for and the career that they're going to build. So Career Accelerator starts in October. We're super excited about it. We're recruiting students from our current student base now, but also students from across the regions. So you might have heard our ads running on radio stations. We have ads running on social media, a video ad, which is also attached to this message. So I hope you hear those things and see them and encourage your students or people you know in the community to join us for the Career Accelerator program. We have a lot of new initiatives this year, but I'm just going to highlight a couple more. One is that we are expanding our family literacy program thanks to a generous investment from the Birmingham Foundation. So that program is currently in the Baldwin-Whitehall area, and it serves students from all over the region's families with young children. So the adults, the parents learn in an adult basic ed class. The children learn in an early learning setting, and then we work with parents and children together on a family literacy to really help parents build those literacy skills to get students ready for school. We know there's a great demand for that, and having the family literacy component helps many parents who would not otherwise be able to study with us. It makes it possible for them to study with us because the kids are learning while the parents are learning. So we're expanding that program into the South Pittsburgh Hilltop this year, and we're very excited about being able to serve another 20 families through that program. And it will pay dividends for years to come, I think, as you can imagine. And then the other initiative, new initiative we started last year and we're continuing is Math for the Trades. We are working with the Builders Guild of Western Pennsylvania for their introduction to the building trades pre-apprenticeship program. We teach math for that program. That is the kind of workforce partnership that we are very excited about being part of and want to do more of them. After participants graduate from that program, they enter an apprenticeship program. They're capable of taking the apprenticeship test and they get a job, a well-paying job in the construction industry. So we're teaching with that program, and we're also going to be offering brush-up classes for Math for the Trade so people can enter programs like that one and others when they want to pursue a career in the building trades. We're pretty excited about that. So there's lots more I could tell you. I think one more I do want to mention is our immigrant workforce program that will also launch soon. We've done this for a couple years with Jewish Family and Community Services. This next cohort is going to focus on healthcare. So this is a program, it's a class where immigrant adults work with us on building their vocabulary and their work readiness skills around a specific industry. This one's focused on healthcare. We'll be learning about the industry and the job opportunities and the vocabulary of that field to really help this group of never give uppers navigate and build careers in the healthcare industry. So those are just a few highlights about what the year ahead will be. I hope you are as excited about it as we are, and that you can see that Literacy Pittsburgh is not sitting still, waiting for the pandemic to pass. We are working hard to make sure that we and our students are ready and relevant for the region's economic recovery, and as a result, that economic recovery is more equitable. So I thank you. I thank you for your commitment and support to our work. I thank you for listening to this brief update. I wish you well, and please stay engaged with us. We will be sharing a series of videos over the coming weeks with a little more information about all the ways that we are expanding the literacy of this region. So thank you very much. Goodbye.